because the first round of the last map was a one-sided, and the second round was going to be the same. But it looks like Draku is going to be taking on the role of Anarchy, which we've already seen is very important.
Now Dance going with that Ranger. We're already seeing, yeah, Ranger, Nyx, Blaskowitz, Scale Bearer, a very traditional team composition we're seeing here. I think Draku taking the role of Anarchy, meaning he's going to be that designated sole
of course,
runner.
Danska's on this team. How can I forget?
Oh, of course. Maybe it's written right in front of you, mate.
I have nothing to say. I just didn't see it. That is on me. I hold my hands up.
But when it comes to the champions that we saw selected, very, very traditional. But this is one of the first times we've seen Scalebearer again. We obviously saw Scalebearer very early on at the start of today, but he kind of almost sort of dropped off quite quickly. Didn't see him much after that. What do you reckon we're going to see from Scalebearer today?
I think as always, it depends on how the team is going. We've already seen how dangerous he can be, like when he started his bull rush and he's holding onto the soul. If he starts the rush, goes over the soul, so he's running with the soul on him and he's taking that straight up half damage. We see people try and intercept the soul and kill them before they can get there. And if all of a sudden your rails are doing like 40 damage, your lightning gun is doing 3 damage a shot, your direct rockets are doing 50.
And he's got armor too.
If he's stacked and has armor while he's doing that, it becomes very difficult to kill him and stop him from running around. If he can get a good route, I think a big part of it depends on what obelisk they actually capture first. I think if they can get B, Scalebearer is very good at sort of defending that position overall, because obviously if you're going to run back towards B, it's quite easy to just run in a straight line without any sort of problems. If you run from B to A, you sort of have to go up a jump pad, you have to sort of go around stairs, whereas if you're getting down to B, it's a bit more easier.
So here we go, it's going to be last minute versus Sandels.
So Ruins of Sarnath will be the first map also.
Already in with that Nyx from behind. Now this is a very important stage of the map. Getting that soul first. Having the option of choosing what obelisk you want to control. A lot of frags have already gone down to Sandels, but they have been able to take it anyway. Will they survive long enough to capture it? That's the question. Chronic on the side of last minute has got it, but how long? Already frags are trading, but the obelisk is going to be A for last minute. Probably predicting someone to run down there. It is going to be Draku, but one of you knows just how we actually sort of head off completely. Lots of members of last minute there waiting for him. And just like that, actually, 10% already down.
But that's good block, though, 20%.
Oh, minimal!
Rush in its tracks and immediately dies.
Minimal damage as well before he went down. Mega Health's about to spawn. If Draku manages to secure this frag, he's at least going to get that Mega Health. Anarchy really needs that increased health because the rails will trade left, right, and center on a map like this, and Anarchy will consistently be very prone to getting hit by those.
Last minute doing such a good job just defending as Gaia goes down. Wow, Antester.
Really solid brick wall defense at the moment. Draku really trying to stay alive, but there's only so much you can tank as Anarchy. Anarchy's going to really need to sort of spend this round building up those injections, getting his health up. The second he reaches that 81 HP mark, he's going to be able to tank 2 rails without armor, which is so pivotal for an Anarchy that's having to run that soul. As you can see here, actually, last minute, foregoing the soul, trying to get that power up instead.
Oh, nice. Good jump from Draku, just clearing that pass completely. Going a bit more of an unexpected route. Power up seconds away from coming out now. A couple of these frags coming down though. Oh, Chronic with a quad damage. It goes down, Draku is able to intercept. Dance is able to pick this one up.
I think he's going to be as careful as he can. No doubt we're going to see the offense come through, trying to take that soul from B. Draku hasn't got a lot of health, but Dansk sitting on 50 as well. But that's not going to be a huge issue if you can get a frag without taking damage. They've been able to sort of deliver it back, but they still have a lot of percentage to make up. 20% versus 51. Last minute, if they get a good push here, they can further extend that lead. But so far, really nice defense coming through Sandels. Trading a 1-for-1 at this stage, but still, the attack comes through. Last minute, get the soul. Dansk really trying to head them off there. That's the next stage of defense, not just being able to hold your own obelisk, but when you see the enemy team take your soul, just gun it for their obelisk and try and meet them in the... just head them off.
I quite like the positioning from last minute there, though, as well. So just able to safely let him take that soul away. But I was going to say that. Sandals able to take this one away. Gaia trying to make sure he has a safe way to pass, throws the soul up. A teammate there trying to stop him. Draku. Oh, did he throw it down? Yes, no. He was there.
Yeah,
ready.
really nice pass, actually. Fantastic pass. If that went wrong, that was going to go down near rail, and that would have been a horrendous situation.
And just quickly as we can say that, last minute are able to here once again do a good job of just trying to contest this soul. Have actually got hold of it yet. Oh, Dance was there to intercept, but he does get taken down immediately.
Well, before he got the frag, he was able to pass it across near his obelisk, so it's going to waste that time. Forcing last minute. There we go. Safe delivery, even if he goes down now, which is likely!
Oh, pasted! Gaia with the bull rush, able to just deny that defense completely. And they're contesting the obelisk now. Looks like Sandels able to take away power up very soon. If they can drop this off and then get the power up in time, they'll be a lot better. Nice rebound into picking it up with the injection to top up that maximum health. Power up now though, 5 seconds away. And last minute losing a couple of frags here.
Draku's movement really strong. Last minute though, that dual wielding protection, mega health,
got mega
and
health.
protect. Oh, that's just a dangerous combination. And now we are no doubt going to see just the absolute push of all pushes to get that soul back.
Oh wow, nice lands on him with the charge.
Now Gaia trying to deliver it back.
Must say that even though last minute they had that mega health and they had the protection, weren't actually able to take away the soul with it.
Well, they're looking to do it now. There's going to be not much of the protection left, but they can at least frag everyone. Actually did not get much out of the protection. We were expecting to see
they didn't get a
humongous
single
push.
percentage out of that, which is very surprising.
I feel like it's because Sandels just were able to sort of bring it away.
Haneki holding that gauntlet out. The game calls it humiliation, but it's practical. You know, it makes sense to do so.
Especially in Sacrifice as well. The amount of up close and personal fights you're likely to have, and the gauntlet doing so much damage.
Oh, there's that charge. Chronic is able to thread the needle, get past everyone, but he is getting chased down. 3 members on his tail right now, but he is able to get a defensive frag onto Dansk. He said he gets away, but Cruel's waiting for him. Draku, the sneaky stuff from below. Oh, but Antesto is there with a frag.
Nice predictive rocket, knowing that he's going to land on it, and they're going to try and bring this one back. 63% versus 65. This is looking incredibly close, but Sandels heading him off in front. They trade 1 for 1, and they get fragged again. Gaia gets Antester. There we go, managed to put it back. Fumbles the toss, but it's not the end of the world. Draku making that sequence all the way back to Obelisk B. Taking a bunch of damage. I don't know if he's going to be able to deliver it, trying to just use the aggressive gauntlet. Gets him anyway, that was so sneaky!
RDMZ missing those crucial super shotgun shots could be the difference here, but Antesto is able to get it through. Drops down, the Dire was there. Oh, a little bit of damage comes through. Chronic with the bull rush to pick up the soul, and then again, last minute, are finally able to re-secure the soul.
63 versus 70%, with power-ups going to spawn in 8 seconds. If Sandels are able to secure this, they will no doubt be able to make that push all the way back. Draku being aggressive, doing a bunch of big damage.
Oh, he did die though. Our last minute able to be able to get the power up on it. The protection goes the way of Dance though. Sandels able to get protection. This could be huge.
Oh, that double rocket, but here comes the Dax.
Massively
Fully
outnumbered, though.
stacked and a protection, taking on every member of this team. Looking to try and get out of there before the rest of his team follows up, and now he's going to be able to sort of really continue this push. That was a fantastic decision, actually. Take minimal damage, rocket jump out of there for the time being until the rest of your team follows up. And now they can make this run all the way back to their obelisk and not take unnecessary damage. Holding on to the protection, absolutely beautiful management of that power-up. Dance, what a play.
That was an amazing display of teamwork though as well from Sandels. Sandels were there ready to back him up, ready to be there in force, and now they're able to take the soul for themselves. Now just close what was a huge deficit in percentage down to a mere almost 5%.
It's worked wonders for them.
Draku with that double kill, the LG. Now this defense is starting to add up big time. Oh, RDMZ peeks around the corner into a rocket. Hello.
He was not ready for that one. Chronic looking to make this push. The rest of his team on deck. Heavily outnumbered right now. As you can see, Sandels coming in. A lovely Dire Orb to get that free damage. Gets taken out by a charge anyway. But at this stage, right now, Sandels doing such a great job of holding onto it. Does manage to throw the soul over the walls. That's going to force them to go all the way around and take it.
Draku able to secure it though. Mega health being up in a few seconds time. Gaia able to get the bull rush out. He's most likely able to do this for free. Yes, I don't think he's get killed in time. 9% ready to go, and the power up 30 seconds away.
Yep.
If Sandels can get a good defense going, this will be the round.
I don't think we're going to see that power up at all before the end of this round unless they can contest it, which they're looking to do. But there are so many members of Sandels heavily stacked up, but Draku gets fragged anyway. minimal health left, and no doubt we see him go down.
Guy just gets dropped down too though, and Tessa trying to throw the soul away, hits the wall, it goes back again, and Sandels are ready to pick it up.
Yeah, just look at how many members of Sandels were there ready to intercept. The Uenis, no, fumbles the toss! That could have been a huge error. They're bringing it all the way back down, but gets fragged by Rocket anyway.
Very fortunate that Gaia is able to really sort of salvage that mistake. Could have been huge for Sandels, but able to drop it off, and that kill could have, has it really confirmed the round? No, there's 2 people here still.
Are we going to see a charge? We do see one. Wasn't able to get 2, but very, very pivotal fragged in that case.
Well, Chronic's able to run it through again. This could be huge.
Oh, who got power up?
Oh, but 3 of Sandels, all 4 in fact are here to stop him, and Dax gets the protection.
I don't know if there's much they can do to stop this, even if he gets fragged from far away. Look at it, he has so much health. He tanked every last bit of it.
Still is he going to be able to deliver? No! Flols is there with that defense.
But no, Dracu with an injection ready, protection, no one there to defend. That last-minute drop-off by Dracu is likely to be the round-winning drop. And it is. 1 round to Sandels, but hard fought.
That was insane. That was an intense round of just the first map. We have plenty more to go in this set, but
that was just round 1.
That's a strong way to start things off. And again, looking really good. Once again, Anarchy making a huge difference.
I mean, I'm at a stage at this point, right? Just think Anarchy is so key. Mobility, how well he complements the way Sacrifice needs to be played currently. He just fits it like a glove.
A little bit of patience exercised here though between this 20-second soul spawn. There we go, gets, oh, the well-timed bull rush. Dairy's able to just run straight past it, but he gets intercepted, and Chronic is able to take the soul away and drop it off after a guy did all that work to get it so close.
Yeah, when you can go, try and go make that run towards an obelisk that you and your team want to take. If you get fragged at the last minute by someone who's lying in wait to chase you, you've just done all the work for them. And because of that last minute, once again, have access to Obelisk A. Sandels have the Obelisk they won with last time, though, so if they can repeat what they managed to pull off in that last round, we may see a 2-0. But last minute looking to defend really well, but look at how many members of Sandels are there to take it. They already have the soul back. Last minute with a 20% lead, in hindsight, is not all that much if Sandels can hold this off comfortably.
It will be a big deal if last minute can get it in the charge. Oh, nice! Choo-choo, 2 kills back-to-back. Chronic's going to use that charge time as well to steal the soul away and drop it back off to Ace straight away. That's exactly what they needed. Gaia gets the rail, but a little bit too late, as that percentage is going to start to climb a little bit more.
Well, the important thing there was that Sandels didn't get a speck of percentage. They didn't get a single ounce of it. Even though you can see Sandels here looking to make this push once again, they still have a lot of work to do, and nice. Good catch on the rail. Gaia, I think, in this round so far, has done both Scale Bearers have been so useful to their team. Chronic Scale Bearer has been making a lot of difference for last minute, though. Like a particularly high amount so far, I think.
Well, yeah, we saw Chronic single-handedly do a good job of sort of just prevailing there. Got last minute to 36%, which otherwise could have just been 20.
Oh, surprised that rail missed, actually.
Always be difficult. Dracu has no health to contest this power-up, but he is here anyway. Yeah, he's going to go down to just a clean rocket.
There are many frags trading. Folan has the protection. Not a lot of health, though, especially seeing as it's going to be just 2v2 right here. Looking to head him off. They get the soul, so he wasn't get there quick enough. Yeah, that 25 health is going to be really important. Dracu actually looking to make that run back. Dracu's been very slippery throughout this round. That's basically
it's Anarchy, man. If you're good at moving around, and we know Dracu definitely is, you're not going to struggle at all to get that underway. And Gaia taking a few rockets here. 2v1 though, ITMZ, but he does have the protection. A lot of frags going to Sandels. Double coming through for last minute though. And here we go, Dracu once more making that defense. Oh, missed that rail by the skin of his teeth. And that one misses too. Chronic able to get it away, but does he go down? Yes, Gaia with that charge kill onto Scale Bearer. What a fitting end. But just like that though, Sandels are able to even things out. 36% apiece now with this defense. Last minute, they have their work cut out for. They're here in force. They're jumping onto the point, but Chronic very low on health already. He goes down to a direct rocket. And Sandels here in force to themselves to defend, and Lols goes down. These rockets doing a lot of work so far for Sandels. Clearly a very comfortable point for this team. Lots of talented players. Uh-oh.
I mean, speaking of which, lovely
combos
missile. Really nice rocket placement.
But last minute. Look at the percentage though. Almost 60% Sandels taking what was again a big percentage deficit and turning it into a commanding lead.
Gaia just quickly turning around and going, oh no, you're still alive. Bam, dead. Move on.
power-up spawn in 20 though. 20 seconds can be the difference between an extra 10%. Got to be very careful if they're just going to concede the point until the power-up arrives.
I think Obelisk B is a great point for defending that rocket as well, because you've got a great line of sight over the enemy team who, when you get the frag and they respawn, they have to try and take those really important weapons to get back into the fight. Rocket is a very key one of those items, but because B has such a great amount of eyes on that, oh wow, charge coming through, Chronic has the protection, and Scale Bearer with protection is a dangerous champion in this game.
That's interesting. Both Scale Bearers did their bull rush at basically the exact same time, but Chronic was able to time his a little bit better, and he was able to use his charge to secure the power-up. That was really well played by Chronic.
All the LG's going to do there is just give him that burst of speed he needed. Safely delivering this, there's not much they're going to do to stop him. Gets the soul down anyway. But how long can he hold this once protection runs out?
2 frags will do though for now. And now his team is here, last minute. Sandels, 89%, they have to be very careful.
There are lots of people behind. They did not catch any of Sandels on the left-hand side. No one was watching it. Sandels running straight through, taking the soul with ease.
And it's Dracu that's taking it, and look at the speed, Anarchy, you cannot stop him. He gets to where he wants to go. Unless you hit a massively difficult rail or rocket, you will not stop him from getting there in time. And Dracu, just by himself, seizing that soul back.
It's almost like Dracu is a speedrunner and is really good at playing games very fast.
You'd think that, wouldn't you?
Chronic has the soul again. Plenty of health, so that's going to be a safe delivery once more.
I think Chronic's been a bit of an MVP for last minute so far. He's playing out of his mind. But once again, Sandels here, all of them in numbers. Oh, Das goes down, but Dracu takes it again. Dracu drops the soul off, gets the injection speed boost, drops it off again. Now we find ourselves 5% away.
He's just hard to pin down. Like Anarchy in general, I know, but Dracu's movement has been so on point. 98%, 1% more left. I mean, before we can even finish talking, the round has gone to Sandels, and they are now up 1 map against last minute.
A very different round 2 there, I think. Overall, Sandels definitely got a little bit more confident as it went on. Sort of a bit shaky start, I think, to round 1, and last minute really were able to play off of that. But I think the longer the round went on, the more Gaia got a bit more accurate with the bull rushes. I actually think that was a thing for both of them there. So you saw Chronic also doing super well, but at the end of the day, all comes down to teamwork. And then when it came down to it, we saw Sandels was able to control it a little bit better defense. They were there always as a unit. There was never more than like 2 or 3 people on Sandels always there to attack to get the soul back as soon as they lost it. And they would give it to Dracu every time.
But that final defense from last minute when they were holding Obelisk A, and we actually saw Chronic try and push out at the last minute, almost like head off some of those guys and prevent them from coming in. No one was watching the left-hand side near Tribal and the teleporter. And because of that, 2 members of Sandels just pretty much easily walked in to the Obelisk. And at that stage, when they had the Obelisk, they also had a great position. They were nicely stacked up, had lots of health, ready to go in. And just a level of awareness I think Sandels had above last minute. They played really well, don't get me wrong, but Sandels were, I think, just a little bit more on it. They were a bit more on the ball. Their defense was really strong. The speed of which Dracu could just snatch that soul and just run it back to his Obelisk like immediately. He was hard to keep a lid on.
But it wasn't just jumping around though, right? It was like he would find himself taking the soul away, and it would be like rocket jumps to just clear massive amounts of the terrain, even over the top. That would almost like get him from B to A in seconds, right? Just because he was willing to do it, he had the space to do so. He'd recognize, okay, now it's safe for me to do this. He'd do it, and I actually lost count of the amount of times he took the soul away by himself in that map. And even if it wasn't by himself, they would always make sure that he had it, so he was able to do that. It was always the same route too, but at the end of the day, it's Anarchy. They don't have one of their own. How are they going to keep up to him?
Yeah, exactly. But it's quite a running theme of this entire tournament so far, I think, is just how much of a big difference that champion's making. But, you know, speaking of champions, Scale Bearer on both sides were looking really strong. Chronic, though, even though last minute lost that map, Chronic was looking really strong. Like, he really was the glue that held that team together with how many important ball rushes he was able to land. When we would consistently see the soul get taken back to an Obelisk, it was pretty much always Chronic was the one with that soul in hand, looking to deliver it, snatch it away from other people, get those really key double kills. And, you know, he just looks very, very strong. So I wonder if we're going to see him go with Scale Bearer again, or whether the inevitable map change is going to force them to completely change around how they build their team.
I mean, I think at the very least we'll see Chronic stick to Scale Bearer.
I think we will. He just looks too strong on that champion to change.
Yeah, I mean, to a level that he just seems really happy, you know, with that champion. But it's not like Ruins of Sarnath is the only map that Scale Barrier is good on in this game. We're seeing Blood Covenant, he can make a big difference. Lockbox, we don't see as much of him. If it comes down to like a beefy one, it's usually Sorlag on that map, but Burial Chamber, another one that we don't really see too much of Scale Barrier on. So I think it could be map dependent. I think if we go to Blood Covenant, maybe we'll see him stick to it, but perhaps not if we go on Burial Chamber, because a Burial Chamber, it tends to be, again, Sorlag, or even Clutch we saw once. But Clutch is a champion that I'm expecting to see more of, just maybe not on the maps we've seen so far.
I don't know. I guess only time's going to tell in this instance. The same as champions like Slash. We see her very, very rarely in Sacrifice.
I would like to see Slash in Sacrifice, but we just don't. We just haven't seen it yet.
Well, teams are going with what they know. And with the Quake World Championship finals on the line, a spot at the regionals, the all-important regionals to try and make sure you and your team qualify, playing for that life-changing cash pot. That's a lot to keep in mind when you're playing in this kind of situation. But bear in mind, well, the one thing to, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it again. I already know.
Doesn't count.
I already know the counter.
You can add a 0.5 to the counter for that one.
I stopped myself halfway. Make sure you guys join the discussion. Use the hashtag Quake or QWC.
Hashtag BIM.
I'm just... Right. Mapped options.
Let's get back on topic.
Back on topic, because you're throwing me off. Lockbox. I'm thinking we're going to see... I think we're going to see Scale Bearer still, so I think we're likely to go to Blood Covenant. Could be a popular map. I'm not sure if we're going to see Burial Chamber. We haven't seen that yet, and I don't think Scale Bearer is as effective on that map.
Going into this, I wasn't sure what to make of Burial Chamber, but the more we see it, and especially like I know Anarchy must be a nightmare to deal with, but he is so fun to watch in Burial Chamber specifically. So
he's just got a million miles to just run around to do what he wants.
I hope as a spectator we see Burial Chamber, but I would understand if maybe we see Lockbox or Blood Covenant a bit more, because Blood Covenant seems to be like the comfortable one for these teams. Again, because it's Ruins and Blood Covenant, and it is confirmed to be Blood Covenant. Thank you, production. To our second map of the day, which could be the final map of this series. Who knows? I think it's going to all come down to what last-minute pick and just how they work together. Because ultimately, Sandels were just looking like a bit more of a unit by the end of that.
So we know Scale Bearer is really effective on that map. A lot of the champions, in fact, actually, almost every champion we saw picked on Ruins of Sarnath is effective on Blood Covenant. And that's the element, isn't it? Is that when you win, you're still able to change your comp on the next map. You're not really locked into anything. So both teams have the chance to go for a fresh start. If they have their own strats for individual maps, we see that come out. So on Ruins of Sarnath, clearly Sandels just looked a lot more comfortable. But because Blood Covenant was the map that last minute selected, we saw what choosing your comfortable map can do when we saw our first series between Reunite and Defiance. The second Defiance got their Ruins of Sarnath pick. It was night and day. Will we see that again, do you reckon?
I'm not really sure. I think if it's Covenant, maybe. But I don't know. I think it depends on how they feel and how confident they are in these champions. I feel like
if there's going to be Blood Covenant, though, I really think we need to see last minute go with an Anarchy. Or a Nyx, again. Because Nyx is
something to contest. Because last time, if we sort of just breaking this down, last minute had the Nyx, Ranger, Blazkowicz, and Scale Bearer. And then Sandels had Anarchy, Nyx, Ranger, and Scale Bearer. So they both kind of have that core covered of someone fast, someone tanky, and a couple of more for that utility or damage. But at the end of the day, it just seems that when you don't have an Anarchy, it makes a big difference. And as expected, Chronic is back on this champion, and they're running with no Anarchy once again. So they're definitely sticking to their guns. But what's the final pick going to be for Sandels?
We'll find out
when the map loads up.
So I think the really important agile champion, no doubt, is going to be Nyx from RDMZ, because on Blood Covenant, she has all of that room to essentially just run around and do what she wants. The wall jump she has almost acts as basically a double jump on Blood Covenant, because a lot of the jumps that she needs to take, walls are almost like right next to it, or little pillars that she can sort of cling to and jump instead. So she's going to be the most agile.
This could be the map that we see her shine, because ultimately, Nyx didn't seem to make that much of a difference from either team last map, I think is fair to say. It definitely wasn't as decisive as the Anarchy.
Wasn't the deciding factor, that's for sure.
However, on a map like Blood Covenant, Nyx can definitely make that work. But like you said, right, because of her routine, if she gets the soul, you can still use your passive while you're holding onto it, so you can still get those wall jumps into play when you're still using her. You still have the ability to ghost walk and steal the soul at the start, or try and contest with it.
It's that power up steal. That's exactly the underrated element that we're starting to see become more and more useful. We actually saw them attempt it on Ruins of Sarnath when you would consistently see the soul or the power up. There's always that invisible X-rayed outline of a Nyx who was just standing there. We didn't see it work too well in Ruins, but no doubt in Blood Covenant.
We did see the Scale Bearers try it, though. Both
Yep.
of them were trying to time their charges, so they were able to basically run straight through right as the power-up spawn.
I mean, timing is everything.
Which is a bit of a counter to that play, though, because if a Nyx is timing, so she reappears as it respawns, and you've got a Scale Bearer, you charge right as it appears. So if there is anyone standing on it, they are just going to reappear into a big, scary Scale Bearer.
So, here we go. This is potentially the final map. Last minute have to win this. If they don't, they're going to be going out. Really nice mid-air on Dansk, actually. A great start, but Volant with the assassination up behind. And RDMZ did not see Volant behind either. That's going to be a free soul for Chronic, who's now running
that charge perfectly, though.
Yep. Especially seeing as he lost so many frags in that situation. Last minute, you actually almost surprised he didn't take it, but really well-placed charge by Chronic. Getting a little bit of free percentage right now, and they're doing a good job of defending. Antester as well. A couple of crucial frags. Here comes Dan trying to make that push. Has stolen the soul away. The rest of his team to head him off. Going to pass it on, no doubt, expecting himself to go down. And here comes Sandels with that push. Early on, 9%. That's not a huge amount of percentage if you can hold the soul for a long amount of time.
But we've already seen how hard it is for last minute to really see the soul back away from them, and Sandels, they have to try and establish that defense as much as possible before they can really try and contest. You can already see there's 3 of them here now trying to wait. Sandels are nowhere to be seen.
Oh! Definitely look a dual wield right there. Chronic using the rush just I think using it early, quite smart, just to get out of what would have been probably the most dangerous situation when that base was so heavily guarded by everyone else. Gets a rocket, but look at how heavy Scale Bearer is. Just took every ounce of it while he's taking damage from other members of the team as well. Sandels do have a lead, but it's a very small lead.
Just change up.
Oh, I can see it coming up behind with a gauntlet in hand. Not ready for that one.
He does able to take this one back over, though. You can see just the speed this character, this champion, can build so fast. But already 2 people have lost minute here to take it away, and Chronic, once again, Chronic playing very well already. I think he's, at the moment, the MVP for sure of that last minute. Draku lying in wait. Going just
off
like
towards
that,
the
though,
power.
Sandels already have quite a decent lead.
A nice trail of LG, but just look at how many members of last minute. I think they didn't actually get the protection, so it's going to be huge for them if they can stick together. Draku coming up behind.
One damage per shot, because I think he was charging at the time.
And he got the mega health at the very end. They have the soul. They're making a huge push together. They do pass it on to Ancestor because he's got the soul.
This is the teamwork we need to see from last minute. And it is working out for them quite well right now. This protected Ranger, look how much damage he's taking, but already down to 30.
But he is getting heavily focused, and actually the protection was not enough to keep him alive. Now Dansk has protection instead, and he's got the soul back. That was so unfortunate for last minute. They couldn't keep it, and they didn't get a smidgen of percentage. Straight back to
Is a
Sandels.
heartbreaker. And they did so well to take it as a group, but that irritating, just stuck fly to him. Just wasn't able to shake him off. Was only able to take the frag. Nice, able to dodge that charge though with the Dire Orb. Oh, but RDMZ gets that good frag. Draku is still here, ready to defend. They're trying to contest this, but the rocket fire proving too much. Volant with the lightning gun to finish things off.
At the end of the day, if you're really efficient at scoring frags, your defending ability is going to just be the most dangerous aspect of your gameplay. And because loads of different members of Sandels, I mean, so many of these players have this rich history with competitive Quake, they definitely know a thing or two about landing those hits consistently, but Sandels doing it so efficiently.
Oh, taking the soul, dropped it up top, but I don't believe there's anyone there to pick it up aside from Draku himself. It would have jumped straight back up and put it straight back into its home. 66% to 9, another commanding round lead for Sandels.
Percentage doing a good job building up. Basically 25% left already. It's not been a particularly long round, not even 5 minutes yet. But no doubt we're going to see last minute really try and control this power up. This is their lifeline. If they do not get this, if they don't get the power up, they're in big trouble. But look at how many members of Sandels are there to take it. Oh no!
Look at quad damage. Oh, the gauntlet! He wasn't the one to get the kill. That was going to be insane. Chronic is chasing him hard though. Let's not forget, quad damage doesn't stop you taking any more damage.
I think he's actually really churning that gauntlet in case Chronic uses the bull rush straight into him, but Chronic not biting, and now uses the bull rush to confirm the quad damage instead. Nice
Still
patience.
the vast majority of the quad damage time left to go though. Dansk is hitting these shots really well. 46 health, and Volant gets the frag from out of nowhere. Seizes the quad damage.
That's going to be, I'm willing to think that's going to be around. I mean, the second they got that quad damage and last minute were not able to get the soul instead, like there's not much they can do unless they make an amazing push right now. They're off to a little bit of a start with Volant going down, but we'll see if they can pull it off.
We can see how hard it is. Sandels is making it so difficult for them to get away safely. Draku, this lone man, is defending so well. 1% left to go.
That's it, I think.
Is that going to be it? Yes, it is. Round 1, match point to Sandels already. Looking very good together.
If they win this round, they're moving on. And that will be it for last minute. Very important round for them now. They've got no choice.
I mean, I hate to sound like a broken record, but again, you know, that's anarchy. Yeah, these anarchy damage.
Round 2, fight.
So the start of this round could set the tone. Depends on who gets that soul, who gets their point first. I think if Sandels get either of their points, I have no doubt they're going to defend really well.
Soul spawn.
Well, guys, able to take it this time. Choosing to go for B now. Now, if this is the one they wanted the whole time, this means they're able to hold on to the obelisk they wouldn't have chosen otherwise. But now they do have 5% lead already. It is getting contested immediately. We can see just how many people have last minute here trying to stop it. But that is a very
they weren't able to take it away though. That's a heavily stacked Scale Bearer on the defense. He's got overcharged armor, 100 HP. Unless he gets heavily focused, he is going to be a nightmare until they can deal with him. Controlling that bridge. I mean, controlling that bridge with a rail is a really dangerous tactic, especially as no members of last minute seem to have a rail to contest. So it's free damage. He's just going to get that and dodge missiles as he sees them.
That's almost that kind of like a not too fast tactic, right? Of just holding off on certain areas, getting people designated to defend these choke points off. 2 people of last minute on the point trying to stop it. One of them trying to contest currently, gets the soul away. Has he been killed? No, Lol's able to get away safely. He's getting chased down.
They are heavily closing in. So many members of Sandels there. And they just get it back immediately.
Even though he did go down to that rocket, was able to drop off the soul first. Definitely not the worst thing in the world, but Quake's able to throw it up. It's A1 up there that can take it away. No, Dansk manages to intercept it. Oh, and isn't able to drop off this time though. Chronic waiting below.
Pass
oh,
up
he threw it too far.
Oh no, throws it over the bridge. Not the end of the world though. Antester gets it anyway. Got a nice amount of health. I reckon we'll see him drop it off before he goes down ever so slightly, but look at how many members of Sandels were following him. 3 of them. And now they've got it instead. That is the element I think Sandels have had over last minute. The second last minute you get the soul at all, Sandels are on pursuit right up behind them.
See Guy just got a double charge kill and kill feed. That's one way to get some momentum back, but Lol's able to take this soul back. So even though they got 3%, gonna add to it now, but already someone from Sandels here. I believe it's Volant trying to stop him. Uh-oh, is that a quad damage Draku? It might be.
It is indeed. Draku with that quad still got a bunch of health, but can't tank the rocket because he has no armor. Even with that recently picked up mega health, he still can't handle it if he's got 80 health and he takes a close rocket. Dance though now has access to quad instead.
His squad's about to run out in a few seconds, but if he can safely get a few frags here to stop him from being able to chase. Or Chronic gets that frag. Once again showing through, but Draku now. Anarchy has very weak. He's going to start running it as fast as he can. Drops it off to Gaia, who's closer and healthier, more likely to survive getting it in, and there's the gauntlet for Draku. Saves him with the rocket anyway. Able to drop things off. 40% now, 60 to go. And we'll find Sandels moving on in the bracket, and last minute will unfortunately be going home, or staying home.
This is an online tournament at the end of the day.
Exactly.
But I mean, the defense so far from Sandels, it's a consistent strength of theirs to make sure that even when the soul gets taken, like Chronic has it now, but trying to go in for the bull rush, covers about half the distance, but 2 members ready to head him off. Dan's got a gauntlet. It's this level of awareness that I think Sandels are just commanding.
Oh, and Lol's just chasing him with the gauntlet. He wants to get that return kill. But actually, was RDMZ knocked off the edge there?
Almost.
He's got the suicide and the ticket feed.
Lol's actually throwing the soul away. I wonder if that was to almost sort of rebound it or try and reset it. I know sometimes when the soul goes in what is deemed out of bounds, it will reset back into the middle of the map.
Maybe he was attempting to sort of reset the soul there. Maybe he thought if he threw it off the edge, it was going to respawn in the middle, closer to his team.
Potentially. But either way,
however, though, the power up in 10 seconds. 3 kills going in the way of Sandels. This could be a bit of a problem for last minute.
Oh,
another one.
Especially with the rails, they're starting to hit. Here comes Vaskovic with a dual-wield super shotgun. That's going to be a huge amount of damage output, but immediately it's railed.
The protection
Scale Bearer with protection is going to be so hard to deal with. Going in, trying to land these rockets. But just this brick wall defense.
You can see though just how little you have to care about hurting yourself with a rocket jump if you have this protection, especially someone like Scale Bearer that just has that much health. Normally 20 seconds left to go on Sandels last minute. If they're going to do something, they have to do it now. This is going to just slip away from them very quickly over the next couple of seconds.
Tronic just tried desperately to run away from that, but there wasn't much you can do. 10% now lies between last minute moving on or getting eliminated.
Oh, what Lowell's in a bad place.
He's very weak.
But there we go, me again, Sandels ready. He's trying to out of bounds it, but it's bouncing off. I don't quite know if that's possible or not.
I'm assuming his intention is to try and reset the soul or at least just waste some time. But again, Obelisk gets dropped.
Oh, Lord. That gauntlet, so much damage coming out.
It's such a legitimate tactic with the dual-wield super shotgun, but it's not going to be enough. Cannot have the fast enough rate of fire that he wants. And Draku at that last minute just taking frag after frag, and they move on.
Really well played though from the side of Sandels. Last minute, they looked so strong at the very start of the series, but just weren't able to do it. And once again, Draku in the chat. Well done, guys. We'll be seeing you again later on, I'm sure. And obviously, last minute, thank you very much for getting here today. But ultimately, it will be Sandels that move on.
I think that's the important thing to bear in mind today is the fact that Sacrifice is 2 streams. It's 2 opportunities. And if you don't make it in those 2 weeks, that's going to be it. But there's been plenty of time, I think, since the announcement of the World Championship to really knuckle down and start learning how to approach this match.
Clearly,
this
that's
kind of
what
game
Sandels
mode.
have been doing. It's just little things like that.
Absolutely. They've been really on point today. I actually think they've been a bit more on point today than we saw them last week. So I think there's definitely been an element of like practice these teams would have been putting in. Draku looking particularly comfortable, especially in all of these fights. And a big part of that can be Anaki's mobility, very hard to pin down, especially if you are fantastic at movement, because you can really just deliver that soul in record time. But I think in these fights, it was just a level of just combined effort from Sandels. Every single member of that team at least had a couple of moments where they made a call and made a play, and it was super important.
Yeah, I think that's definitely fair enough to say, but especially on the side of Draku, one thing that, again, and you know, I will sound like a broken record by the end of the evening, I'm sure, but the team with the Anarchy making a big difference.
The champion's just really good in this game mode. Well, he's good at Duel as well, but he's really good in Sacrifice too.
Well, I mean, you can definitely see the difference when one team has him and one team doesn't.